Hello, friends. If your flight is canceled, delayed badly, or changed in a way that ruins your trip, do not click the voucher button too fast. That one click can matter. For many older travelers, a flight is not just a vacation. It may be a trip to see grandchildren. It may be a cruise connection. It may be a medical appointment, a funeral, a family emergency, or the one trip you saved for all year. And when the airline suddenly says, take this credit, accept this rebooking, or choose this travel voucher, many people panic and press the fastest option just to get out of the airport mess. But here is the part many travelers miss. Under the U.S. Department of Transportation's refund rules, if an airline cancels your flight or significantly changes your flight, and you do not accept the changed itinerary, the rebooked flight, travel credit, voucher, or other compensations instead of a refund, you may be entitled to a cash refund or a refund to your original form of payment. Let me say that plainly. A voucher is not the same thing as cash. A rebooked flight is not the same thing as a refund. And accepting an alternative can put you in a different category than someone who declined the alternative and did not travel. This is where a lot of travelers lose track of the money. I am not saying every delay gives you cash compensation. That is a different issue. I am not saying you should always refuse a rebooked flight. Sometimes rebooking is exactly what you need, especially if you have a medical appointment, a family event, or a cruise departure you cannot miss. And I am not saying bad customer service automatically means a refund after you already flew. This video is about one specific choice. Did the airline cancel or significantly change your flight? And did you decline the alternative flight, travel credit, voucher, or other compensation? That is the key. Before we go further, if you are not subscribed yet, subscribe and turn on the bell. I break down travel, banking, Social Security, Medicare, tax, and senior money rules in plain English because most people are never personally warned before a costly mistake happens. Now let's walk through 5 warnings to remember before you click Accept, before you agree at the counter, and before you let a voucher replace money you may have a right to receive. Warning number 1. A canceled flight can create a refund right, but only if you do not accept the alternative. If the airline cancels your flight, DOT says passengers are entitled to a refund when the airline cancels the flight and the passenger chooses not to travel or accept travel, credits, vouchers, or other forms of compensation offered by the airline. That sounds simple, but in the real airport moment it can become confusing. Imagine your flight from Phoenix to Chicago is canceled. Your phone buzzes. The airline app offers a new flight leaving tomorrow morning. Another button offers a travel credit. A third option is hidden in a help menu or customer service screen. You are tired, you are worried. Maybe you are traveling with medication, a cane, a spouse, or a family member who does not use airline apps easily. So you tap the fastest option just to make the problem go away. That tap may matter. If you truly need the new flight, taking the rebooking may be the right choice. But if the cancellation means the trip no longer works, or you cannot travel at the new time, do not assume a voucher is your only option. Here is the sentence to use. Since the airline canceled my flight and I am not accepting the alternative transportation or travel credit, am I owed a refund to my original form of payment? Write that down. Do not just ask, what can you give me? Ask whether you are owed a refund. There is a big difference. Warning number 2. A major schedule change may count too. A flight does not always have to be completely canceled for refund rights to come up. DOT's rule also talks about significant changes and significant delays. In plain English, that means the airline changed your trip so much that it is no longer close to what you bought. For example, DOT identifies significant changes such as a domestic flight departing 3 hours or more earlier, a domestic flight arriving 3 hours or more later, an international flight departing 6 hours or more earlier, or an international flight arriving 6 hours or more later. It can also include changes such as the origin or destination airport being changed, more connections being added, or an involuntary downgrade to a lower class of service. And for passengers with disabilities, the rule also recognizes certain accessibility-related changes, such as different connecting airports or different aircraft, when needed accessibility features are unavailable. This is especially important for older travelers. A younger traveler may be able to handle an extra connection, a long airport walk, a late-night arrival, or a different airport across town. But for many seniors, that change can turn a manageable trip into a real problem. Maybe the new itinerary adds a connection you cannot safely make. Maybe the new arrival time means no one can pick you up. Maybe the airline changed the airport, and now your family member is waiting somewhere else. Maybe your original flight was chosen because it worked with wheelchair assistance, medication timing, or caregiver support. So if the airline changes the itinerary, do not only ask, "Is my ticket still active?" Ask the better question. Does this change count as a significant change under DOT refund rules? And if I do not accept the changed itinerary, am I owed a refund? This is the part people miss. If you take the significantly changed flight or accept an alternative flight, DO explains that you are generally not entitled to a refund of the full airfare under the refund rule. There may be separate issues, such as amenities, meals, hotel help, or a fare difference if you were downgraded and still traveled, but that is not the same as a full refund for deciding not to take the changed trip. So slow down. Identify the change. Decide whether you are accepting or declining the alternative. Then keep the notice. Warning number 3. A voucher can be useful, but it can also trap your money inside airline credit. Airlines may offer travel credits, vouchers, miles, or other compensation instead of a refund. Sometimes that offer looks attractive. Sometimes it may include a bonus. Sometimes the app makes the voucher button look like the cleanest, easiest answer. But for seniors on a fixed income, a voucher can be very different from cash. Cash goes back to your card or original payment method. A voucher usually keeps you inside that airline system. You may have to travel again before the voucher expires. You may have to use the same airline. There may be restrictions. You may have to remember the credit, track it, apply it correctly, and use it before conditions change. If you book the original trip because you needed one specific trip, a voucher may not help your monthly budget at all. DOT says airlines and ticket agents must provide refunds in cash or in the original form of payment when refunds are owed. They may not substitute vouchers or travel credits unless the passenger affirmatively chooses to accept that alternative compensation. That phrase matters, affirmatively chooses. In ordinary language, it means you should not be pushed into a voucher without understanding that cash may be available if the rule applies. Before you accept a voucher, use these 3 questions. First, am I entitled to a refund if I do not accept this voucher? Second, if I accept this voucher, am I giving up my refund option? Third, what restriction, expiration rules, name rules, route rules, or blackout rules apply to this credit? If the person at the counter is rushing you, stay calm and repeat the question. I am not asking for special treatment. I am asking whether this voucher is being offered instead of a refund I may be owed. That one sentence can protect you from making a fast decision in a stressful moment. Warning number 4. The clock and the payment method also matter. DOT says when a refund is owed, airlines and ticket agents must issue refunds promptly. For credit card purchases, the refund must be issued within 7 business days after the refund becomes due. For other payment methods, it must be issued within 20 calendar days. That does not mean every travel problem gets refunded within those timelines. It means that when the refund is owed under the rule, DOT expects the refund to be prompt, automatic in many direct airline situations, and return to cash or the original payment method unless the consumer chooses another form. For older travelers, this matters because a delayed refund can affect the monthly budget. A $500, $800, or $200 ticket sitting in airline credit is not the same as money back on a credit card or in a bank account. So if you believe the airline owes a refund, ask this clearly. Is this refund being issued to my original form of payment, and what date should I expect it? Then write down the answer. If you bought the ticket with a credit card, check the card account. If you used another payment method, check that account too. Do not just rely on a verbal promise at the airport. And if you receive a message that says, your refund is now a voucher, stop and review it carefully. The question is not whether a voucher exists. The question is whether you chose the voucher instead of a cash or original payment refund you were owed. Warning number 5. Extra fees and third-party bookings can confuse the refund. Many travelers only think about the ticket, but air travel often includes extra charges. Checked bag fees, seat selection, Wi-Fi, a seat upgrade, priority boarding, entertainment, other optional services. DOT explains that passengers may be entitled to refunds of certain ancillary service fees if the service was paid for, but not provided through no fault of the passenger. DOT also explains refund rights related to checked bag fees when a bag is lost or significantly delayed, but there are rules, timing details, and reports that matter. So do not only look at the base ticket. If your trip was canceled, changed, downgraded, or your paid service was not provided, ask about every fee you paid. Use these questions. Was I charged for a seat, bag, Wi-Fi upgrade, or other service that was not provided? Is that fee refundable separately from the ticket? If my bag was significantly delayed, do I need to file a mishandled baggage report? Can you send me written confirmation of which fees are being refunded? That last question is important. If you are tired in an airport, it is easy to forget what someone told you at the counter. If you are helping a parent, spouse, or older neighbor, the details can get lost even faster. Save the email, screenshot the app notice, keep the receipt, write down the date, the flight number, and what happened. You are not trying to create a fight. You are creating a record. Now let's talk about third-party bookings. Many seniors book through travel websites, cruise packages, tour companies, travel agents, credit card portals, or online ticket agents. That can make refunds more confusing because the company shown on your card statement may not be the airline. DOT uses the idea of the merchant of record. In plain English, that is generally the entity shown on your financial charge statement for the ticket purchase. If you did not book directly with the airline, ask this question. Who is the merchant of record for my ticket purchase, and who is responsible for issuing the refund if one is due? Then check your credit card or bank statement. Do not rely on a random phone number in a text message. Do not click a refund help link from an unknown sender. Do not give your full card number, social security number, Medicare number, banking password, or one-time security code to anyone who contacts you out of the blue, claiming they can get your airline refund faster. This is a perfect area for scams. A traveler is upset. The flight was canceled. They are trying to get money back. Then a fake text or fake website says, "Claim your refund now." That can be how a refund problem turns into identity theft or bank fraud. Use the airline's official app or website. Use the travel agency website you actually book through. Use the number on the back of your card if you are checking the charge. If you need to file a complaint, use the official DOT Aviation consumer protection process, not a link from a random comment or private message. Now here is a common question. I already accepted a voucher. Can I still get cash? The honest answer is, it depends on exactly what you accepted, what the airline disclosed, what happened to the flight, and whether the airline or ticket agent still treats the refund as available. But the important point is this. DOT warns that if you accept a rebooked flight, continue with a significantly changed itinerary, or accept alternative compensation, you may not be entitled to the same refund under DOT rules. So if you already accepted a voucher, do not panic, but do act quickly. Read the voucher email. Check whether it says you accepted compensations instead of a refund. Look for any cancellation terms. Contact the airline or ticket agent and ask, can this voucher be reversed, or did accepting it waive my refund option? Ask for the answer in writing. If you believe you were not clearly told about your refund right, or you believe the airline did not follow the rule, keep the documents and consider using official complaint channels. But going forward, the safer habit is to pause before accepting. Not for an hour, not forever, just long enough to know which choice you are making. Here is the simple airport script I want you to remember. Before I accept a voucher or rebooking, I want to know whether I am entitled to a refund if I decline this option. That is the whole sentence. If you are helping a parent or spouse, teach them that sentence before they travel. If they do not use smartphone apps easily, write it on a small card and keep it with the travel papers. If they call you from the airport confused, ask them two things. Did you accept the voucher yet? And then, did the airline say whether cash refund is an option if you decline the new flight? This is especially important for cruise travelers. If the canceled flight means you missed the cruise departure, a voucher for a later flight may not solve the real problem. You may also have separate travel insurance, cruise contract, hotel, or tour issues. Those are different rules. But for the airline ticket itself, you still need to understand whether you are choosing rebooking, credit, or refund. It is also important for medical travel. If you booked a flight around a specialist appointment and the new itinerary arrives after the appointment, the rebooking may not help you. Do not accept a credit just because it is offered quickly. Ask whether the cancellation or significant change gives you a refund option. Now let's make this practical. Here are the 5 things to save when a flight changes. Save the original itinerary, save the cancellation or change notice, save the rebooking or voucher offer, save your receipts for the ticket and extra services. Save your written messages with the airline, ticket agent, or travel agency. If you speak by phone, write down the date, time, name if available, and what you were told. And before you click anything, ask these 5 questions. Number 1. Was my flight canceled or was it significantly changed? Number 2. Am I accepting a new itinerary or am I declining it? Number 3. If I decline the alternative, am I owed a refund to my original form of payment? Number 4. If I accept a voucher, am I giving up a cash refund option? Number 5. Who is responsible for the refund, the airline, the ticket agent, or the merchant shown on my statement? These questions are not rude. They are not complicated. They are the questions that help you avoid turning your money into a credit you may never use. Let me also be clear about what not to do. Do not assume every delay means automatic cash compensation. Do not yell at airline employees who may be following a limited script. Do not accept a voucher just because the app makes it look like the only choice. Do not post your booking number, confirmation code, credit card details, or travel documents in the comments. Do not trust strangers in the comments offering to recover your refund. And do not wait months to organize your paperwork if the airline does not refund money you believe is owed. So here is the full picture. DOT's refund rule gives travelers stronger, clearer rights when flights are canceled or significantly changed, and the traveler does not accept the alternative offered. But the right depends heavily on your choice. If you take the changed flight, accept the rebooking, or accept travel credit instead, you may be in a different category. That is why the most important word in this whole topic is before. Before you accept a voucher, before you take the rebooking, before you give up on the trip, before you click the fastest button, before you assume the airline gets to keep the money. Pause and ask, what happens if I decline this option? If you are watching this and you travel often, comment refund below if you have ever been offered a voucher after a cancellation. Do not post your confirmation number, flight number, personal documents, or private information. Just say whether you were offered a voucher, rebooking, or cash refund, because that may help other viewers realize they are not alone. And if you help a parent, spouse, neighbor, or older relative travel, share this with them before their next trip. A canceled flight is stressful enough. They should not lose a refund right simply because they were tired, confused, or rushed into accepting a credit. Subscribe for more plain English senior money alerts, travel warnings, scam updates, and benefit checks. And remember, when a flight gets canceled, the first question is not what button is easiest. The first question is, am I owed my money back if I do not accept this alternative? That one question can save a senior traveler from turning a refund into a voucher they never wanted.